the pain terrible? I can ease your suffering.
Welcome back to Nightmare Weekend 2024. We are here with the ever amazing Andrew Divoff. Man, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with
my
us for a
pleasure,
short
brother.
period.
Thank you.
We're huge fans.
Thank you.
First and foremost, thank you so much
My pleasure.
for what you've brought with your art into the genre itself. I know you've traveled outside the horror genre a little bit too, but obviously there's so much you've done great for the genre itself.
Thank you so much.
What got you? Did you want to start within the horror industry? Is that kind of where you wanted to kick off?
Yeah.
How did you get into the horror genre? What was the?
As a kid, so my mom would tell me not to watch horror movies, and of course I'd sneak out at midnight and watch the horror movies, and she would kind of do that with a wink and a nod. Tell me that, for instance, Boris Karloff was in Frankenstein tonight at 10 o'clock, and you are not to watch it, Andrew. So that kind of got me going, and I was fascinated by Mr. Harryhausen's art. Just the fact that the stop motion stuff, and later, as I found out, for instance, why King Kong looked like his hair was blowing in the wind, it was because each time they touched the doll, it would press the hair this or that direction. So it actually ended up being kind of a happy coincidence.
That's awesome. Obviously, you've traveled outside the genre for. You've done things like Lost, Toy Soldiers, another 48 Hours, of course. Was the process for getting cast in these things? Were you actively going out and getting these things, or were they just kind of falling?
Yes, I was. No, so let's see. Well, the first sort of notice that I got was for another 48 Hours. It was a bigger role, and I remember going in and reading. Walter Hill was in the room, which was wonderful. I got to read for him. Then I did a little bit of an improv, which was that movie was written by John Fasano, so I got to do my improv for John, and that I basically went off on Hickok because of his forgive my French, folks, because of his fuck up brother, and so Walter saw that and he said, go do that for John, and I didn't mean that to happen, but that character subsequently got written out, but that was fun, and it was my first sort of trial by fire, and I learned a lesson in that one about doing the improv and making sure that you come in prepared and show the piece some love and be willing to play with it.
Awesome.
So I think we probably should talk about Wishmaster.
Okay.
You know I have to.
Yeah, I know you do. And honestly, we're at a horror convention, so you know.
The most iconic scene in any movie I've ever seen that sticks with me to this day is Wishmaster 2, The Prison.
Yeah.
The lawyer fucking himself.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah, I was kind of concerned, and Jack, as we know, Jack is trippy, so he's got some, and he wrote number 2, and so he had to bring some of his Jackness in, and that was part of it, and the tricky part was casting an actor, and believe me, I think they saw quite a few casting an actor that could pull it off, and this guy, he was good. He pulled it off with humor, which kind of icing on the cake there.
I mean, first time I saw it was in the theater, and I'm like, is this really what's going to happen? I mean, you don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah. So.
Obviously, timeless as the Jinn in Wishmaster. What did you think at the time that was going to become a new horror icon, or was this just
Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Oh no, you're fine. Go ahead.
When I was in the casting office in the room, I really had no idea. Robert Kurtzman had shared some of the artwork with me and some of the conceptual stuff just so that I'd have it in my mind. But even then, not having it on or ever having worn it, I still didn't have any sort of a long into the future perception of what it might be or what it could be. And I was frankly very, very surprised after I saw the first dailies, and they shared them with me. And that was the scene we shot out in Wilmington, San Pedro, California. And that was the one where he picks up the cigarette and smokes, and
Okay, yep.
and Buck Flowers goes running away after he wished Reggie's character, the pharmacist, to get cancer. Awful wish. But over these years, I'm really happy to say that kind of like throwing spaghetti at a wall that's stuck.
Yeah,
and it's grown, and it's grown on people. So I'm really happy to see that that effect. And I have parents who saw it when they were kids come up with their kids, and I'm always happy to hear that they like the Wishmaster too.
Absolutely.
It kind of blows my mind.
It was at that perfect age for me. I mean, I was watching things I shouldn't watch at way too young an age. But Wishmaster came along. I was a little bit older, but I remember that being the first time I was thinking to myself, "Whoa, this is a character that's not established like the horror icons before."
Right,
but
right.
like, I don't know what this is, but I'm seeing something pretty spectacular here, and it's blowing me away. And not only that, this was the first time I remember seeing this amalgam of horror icons all kind of conjoined.
Yeah, that was
what was
really
it like working with all these
it was
guys?
wonderful, and they were kind of like my big brother monsters, and they were giving me details and advice what to do and what not to do, and they mentioned a concept that was totally foreign to me. That, yeah, man, you're going to be going to conventions, and I said, conventions for what? So I didn't get the concept at that time, but it turned out, like I say, it turned out to have a lot of legs, longevity, and man, I couldn't be happier and prouder, as I say, to have kids come up and talk about it, but to have those guys be willing to come in and help the effort, monsters that were already established. And I mean, I was the new monster on the block, but I to this day I thank every single one of them for coming in. Robert Englund, of course, Kane Hodder, Tony Todd, Reggie Bannister, Joe Pilato, Sam Raimi. There's been quite a few guys who came through that monster door and made the movie better.
That's awesome. I do have a quick question. I'm sure you get asked a lot about the makeup. Was that experience, was it worth it in the end, or was it just one of those horrible
definitely
things
worth
you didn't
it.
want to go through
Definitely
every day?
worth it. No, the first day in was about 4 hours in makeup, and I would dread the brush. It's almost like that Star Wars shot where the spaceship is coming slowly, and then it'd hit the face and it'd be freezing cold because I was in there at 4 a.m. And then and it looked like kind of like Elmer's glue, and so that would go on. Let it get tacky, and then I'd just kind of we were at 35,000 feet, and I'd get to recline, in the chair, so to speak, and then I fell asleep, and they put all the rest of the stuff and wake me up when it was time to put the eyeballs in.
Nice.
But we got it down to about 3.5 hours. But still, with about an 8 to 10 hour day and an hour and a half coming off, they were long days.
Yeah. I can imagine.
But to this day, I think the record, Robert Englund for Freddie has the record of how many days in a row that he had to wear that thing. And he told me, he gave me a good piece of advice. He said, "This is going to sound funny, but make them pay for a spa day when you finish here." And I go, "Yo, really?" And he goes, "Yeah, man. You're going to need it." And sure enough, the face was, we had a few abrasions there. And by the way, the makeup is taken off with this acetone. Yeah. Not the best thing for skin. So it was trying, but I must say that the end result to this day, now the latex has gotten a little thinner and a little more sort of malleable, a little more articulable. and so Robert would tell me, man, you really have to exaggerate. And I know in your mind you're going to be thinking that you're exaggerating, but hey, to you too, bro. You're going to think you're exaggerating, but it's going to come out through. It's kind of like as much as I would force the jaw open or to the side or try to do a smile, I would be doing 120% in here, maybe 30% would show on the front side of the makeup. So it was.
Well, it definitely showed. I mean, honestly, absolutely. In or out of makeup, the voice, your face, in or out of makeup, it's all extremely iconic. And not just Wishmaster, but the rest of your work you've done. We thank you from the bottom of your hearts for the art that you've put into the genre.
Thank you
because
so much.
us as consumers and fans, we can't thank you enough for what you've done.
I appreciate that.
Randy, do you have anything else you'd like to ask?
Let's ask him the question.
You gonna pop the question? Okay, go ahead.
Any project in the world that you could do, any director, whatever, money there's no matter. What is your dream project?
I'm doing it now, as a matter of fact, and I was just chased off the mountain. I live up in the San Bernardino Mountains, and a lot of heart and love going out to the communities. We've been through a couple of tough weeks here. Some people lost a lot. I know that one gentleman lost his home, and he was a coach in Running Springs for the local kids at the elementary school, their soccer team. So he lost his home. So we're keeping thoughts for him. We're going to help him raise some money. I would say if you have a chance, folks, go to any Running Springs. I believe there are a few sites, Facebook sites that will mention the fires and what had been going on. But backtracking too, so I was filming a tribute to Lon Chaney's Wolfman. Although it's a different sort of a tangent from the full moon and getting bitten by a wolf. My story goes back through Norse mythology to Tyr and his befriending of Fenris, and the curse that he carries because of what his bloodline, essentially Tyr, what Tyr did back in the day, which was betray Fenris. And so now it is my curse to carry this, and that's when I guess you could say the shit hits the fan.
Oh my gosh, that sounds exciting.
Oh yeah.
I would always say, holy shit, okay? But we always say there are two best answers for the question we just asked you. And that one of them is whoever we ask, they go balls to the wall. They know exactly what they want, and they really go for it. And it's wonderful to hear that because it's their passion. We like to hear them geek out like we are.
Right.
But the second one we love to hear, and possibly the greatest answer, is the fact that whoever we ask is actively or in process of working on that project. And
thank you,
man, congratulations! That's
Thank you
so
so much.
amazing to
Thank
hear
you,
that you
brother.
get to do that.
Yeah,
So,
we got chased off. It was we were up in Keller's Peak, which is just past Running Springs, up on the 18 on the highway, and I had taken my cinematographer up the tower, the fire tower, the watchtower, so that he could see there was this old, and I believe it was made in 1929. This old sort of compass that you could line up with where a fire was, and so the guy could sort of do his math, and because of this and that angle, where exactly the fire was. Well, the fire burned through there and took that tower. So that was that's we're going to see if we can't do a crowdfunder to raise some money to get that back up and ready. Isn't it sort of ironic that the last thing that you worry about saving is the very thing that spotted the fire in the first place?
right? Yeah,
And
that's
and
amazing.
and a fireman broke it down for me. He said, first and foremost, it's residential. Obviously, offices and hospitals and things like that are first on the list. Then it's residential, and then it's our own homes and towers and things like that. So our guys were completely heroic in the effort. And so we're still living it. Apparently, while I've been here, another fire is lit up in Snow Valley. So I'm curious to find out how that's going. But all in all, lots of love to the community there. Lots of love to you guys and the fans. Appreciate that. Appreciate you checking in. And yeah, we'll speak anon.
Excellent, Andrew. Thank you so very
My
much.
pleasure,
A
brother.
true pleasure.
My
Thank you.
pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Randy.